Captain Jonathan Blake had sailed the world's oceans for decades, but nothing had prepared him for the mysterious expanse of the Mariana Trench. Known as the world's deepest point, it held secrets darker and more terrifying than anyone could imagine. When Blake's vessel, the Neptune, received orders to explore its uncharted depths, he felt a shiver run down his spine. The crew of the Neptune was a seasoned bunch, but the eerie calm that blanketed the trench set everyone on edge. Strange noises echoed through the ship's hull at night, unsettling whispers that seemed to come from the abyss itself. Every deep-sea expedition had its risks, but this felt different. One night, as the ship floated above the trench, a bone-chilling scream pierced the silence. The crew rushed to the deck, where they found Sam, the ship's engineer, standing at the railing, his eyes wide with terror. "It's calling me," he muttered, before plunging into the dark waters below. Panic ensued as the crew tried to locate Sam. The sonar picked up strange readings, indicating massive, unidentified objects moving beneath them. Captain Blake ordered the submersible, the deep diver, to be prepped for an immediate descent to find Sam and uncover the source of the readings. Blake and two other crew members, Dr. Hargrove and Lieutenant Reed, descended into the inky blackness of the trench. The submersible's lights barely pierced the darkness, revealing only fleeting glimpses of alien-like creatures and surreal, twisted landscapes. The pressure and cold were almost unbearable. As they descended further, the deep diver's instruments started malfunctioning. The sonar showed massive shadows circling them. Suddenly, a loud thud reverberated through the hull. Something enormous had collided with the submersible, and the lights flickered ominously. Dr. Hargrove screamed as a grotesque humanoid face appeared at one of the portholes. Its eyes were vacant, and its mouth was an abyss of needle-like teeth. "It's not human!" she cried as the creature's claws scraped against the glass, sending chills down their spines. The creature vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind an eerie silence. They continued their descent, and soon they discovered the wreckage of an ancient ship, half buried in the trench's silt. It was a ghostly reminder of past expeditions that had ventured too far. Upon closer inspection, they found the ship's name, the Aegis, and a year etched into the side, 1847. Inside the wreck, they discovered skeletons dressed in tattered uniforms. It was clear that these sailors had met a gruesome fate. Lieutenant Reed found a captain's log detailing horrific encounters with monstrous sea creatures. The log spoke of a siren, a mythical creature that lured sailors to their doom. According to the log, the siren's song drove men mad, compelling them to drown themselves willingly. Blake's heart pounded as he realized Sam's fate was sealed by the same ancient horror. Suddenly, the submersible's lights died completely. In the pitch darkness, they heard the haunting melody of the siren's song. It was beautiful yet terrifying, compelling yet dreadful. Blake struggled to resist its pull as Dr. Hargrove started murmuring incoherently. Lieutenant Reed slapped Dr. Hargrove, snapping her out of the trance. They frantically tried to restart the submersible systems, but the song grew louder, more insistent. Blake could feel his willpower eroding, his mind slipping into madness. Just as all hope seemed lost, the submersible's lights flickered back on. The siren's song abruptly stopped, replaced by a deafening silence. They were now at the bottom of the trench, facing a colossal, ancient structure covered in bioluminescent algae, glowing faintly in the darkness. The structure was a gateway, adorned with carvings depicting monstrous sea creatures and scenes of ritualistic sacrifice. As they approached, the siren reappeared, blocking their path. This time, its form was even more horrifying, a nightmarish blend of human and sea beast. In a desperate bid, Blake activated the submersible's thrusters, ramming into the creature. It shrieked and disappeared into the abyss. They quickly ascended, hearts pounding. When they finally surfaced, the crew of the Neptune was relieved to see them. But Blake knew that the horrors of the trench would haunt him forever, and the siren's song would echo in his mind, a reminder of the abyssal terror that lurked below. Dr. Emily Carter, a renowned marine biologist, had dedicated her life to studying the mysteries of the ocean. Her latest expedition was to explore the Bermuda Triangle, an area notorious for its mysterious disappearances. She was skeptical of the supernatural claims, but excited about the scientific possibilities. Her team boarded the state-of-the-art research vessel, the Atlantis, equipped with advanced sonar and a deep-sea submersible named the Spectre. The crew was composed of seasoned experts, but the tales of the Bermuda Triangle weighed heavily on their minds. On the third day of their journey, the sonar picked up a massive, unidentified object moving rapidly beneath them. It was too large to be a whale or any known marine creature. Dr. Carter decided to investigate further by sending the Spectre down into the depths. As the Spectre descended, the crew monitored its progress from the control room. Suddenly, they lost contact with the submersible. Panic set in as all attempts to re-establish communication failed. Dr. Carter and her team were left with no choice but to deploy a second submersible, the Ghost, to search for their lost equipment. Dr. Carter and two crew members, Dr. Malcolm and Technician Harris, descended in the Ghost. The ocean around them grew darker and colder as they went deeper, and an unsettling silence enveloped them. The sonar picked up faint echoes, but nothing conclusive. After hours of searching, they finally located the Spectre. It was eerily intact, but its lights were off and it appeared lifeless. Dr. Carter docked the Ghost with the Spectre, and the team cautiously entered the lost submersible. What they found inside sent chills down their spines. The interior was covered in a thick layer of ice, and the temperature was freezing. Dr. Malcolm discovered the bodies of the previous crew, frozen solid, their faces twisted in expressions of sheer terror. Technician Harris found the black box recorder and began reviewing the footage. The footage showed the Spectre's descent into an abyssal trench. As it neared the bottom, the cameras captured glimpses of ghostly figures moving in the darkness. The crew's conversations grew frantic as they reported hearing strange voices and seeing apparitions. The recording ended abruptly with the image of a Phantom Submarine emerging from the shadows, its hull covered in rust and barnacles, a relic of a bygone era. Dr. Carter recognized it from old naval records, the USS Cyclops, a ship that vanished in the Bermuda Triangle during World War I. Suddenly, the Ghost's lights flickered and a cold breeze swept through the submersible. The ghostly figures from the footage appeared around them, whispering in an ancient language. Dr. Carter realized they were the spirits of the USS Cyclops crew, trapped in an eternal purgatory. The spirits communicated through the black box, revealing that their souls were bound to the wreckage of the USS Cyclops, cursed to haunt the depths of the Bermuda Triangle. They pleaded for help, their eyes filled with sorrow and desperation. Dr. Carter and her team knew they had to find a way to break the curse. They navigated the Ghost towards the location shown in the footage, following the spectral guides. The ocean floor was littered with wreckage and debris, remnants of countless doomed voyages. They finally reached the wreck of the USS Cyclops, a ghostly apparition in the murky depths. The spirits grew more agitated, their whispers intensifying. Dr. Carter and her team discovered an ancient artifact aboard the ship, a cursed relic that bound the souls to their watery grave. With great care, they removed the artifact, causing the spirits to wail in agony. The submersible shook violently as the curse was lifted, and the spirits ascended towards the surface, finally free. The Ghost's instruments flickered back to life, and the temperature began to rise. Dr. Carter and her team ascended, the weight of their harrowing experience heavy on their minds. When they reached the surface, the crew of the Atlantis greeted them with relief. They had survived the horrors of the Bermuda Triangle, but the memory of the Phantom Submarine and the tormented souls would haunt them forever, a chilling reminder of the ocean's darkest secrets. Nathaniel Hawke was an adventurer and treasure hunter, always on the lookout for the next big discovery. His latest obsession was a legendary shipwreck, the Leviathan, rumored to be laden with untold riches. Its final resting place was said to be deep within the treacherous waters of the North Atlantic. Hawke assembled a crew of divers and marine archaeologists, chartering the vessel Sea Serpent for the perilous journey. The crew was a mix of seasoned professionals and eager novices, all drawn by the promise of fortune and glory. As they sailed towards the suspected site, a sense of anticipation and dread filled the air. The waters grew increasingly rough as they approached the coordinates where the Leviathan was believed to lie. The Sea Serpent's sonar picked up a massive object on the ocean floor, confirming their hopes. Hawke ordered the dive teams to prepare for descent. The divers, equipped with high-tech suits and gear, plunged into the icy depths. The deeper they went, the darker and colder it became. Strange, bioluminescent creatures flickered in the periphery, adding an otherworldly glow to the descent. After hours of searching, they found the Leviathan, a massive, ancient ship partially buried in the silt. Its hull was encrusted with coral and barnacles, a ghostly relic of the past. Hawke's excitement was palpable as he instructed the divers to begin their exploration. Inside the wreck, they found chests of gold and precious artifacts, just as the legends had said. But their joy was short-lived. As they ventured deeper into the ship, they discovered strange carvings on the walls depicting monstrous sea creatures and dark rituals. One of the divers, Elena, found a sealed chamber filled with skeletal remains. Among them was a large, ornate chest, untouched by time. As they pried it open, a sudden tremor shook the ship. The water around them grew murky, and an ominous presence seemed to fill the chamber. The chest contained an ancient, cursed relic, a massive black pearl said to belong to the Kraken, the legendary sea monster. Hawke dismissed the warnings etched on the chest, driven by greed and ambition. He ordered the relic to be brought aboard the Sea Serpent. As they ascended, the water grew turbulent, and the sonar picked up massive moving objects below. The Sea Serpent's crew watched in horror as enormous tentacles emerged from the depths, wrapping around the vessel. The Kraken had awakened. The ship rocked violently as the Kraken's tentacles tightened their grip. Crew members were flung into the water, their screams swallowed by the roaring sea. Hawke tried to organize a defense, but it was clear they were outmatched by the ancient beast. The Kraken's eye appeared at the surface, a massive glowing orb filled with malevolent intelligence. It seemed to fixate on the black pearl, recognizing its stolen treasure. Hawke realized too late the gravity of their actions. The Kraken was not just a monster, but a guardian of the deep. In a desperate bid, Hawke ordered the pearl to be thrown back into the ocean. The crew complied, but the Kraken's fury was not easily quelled. The tentacles tightened, threatening to crush the Sea Serpent. Panic spread as the ship began to break apart. Just as all seemed lost, the Kraken released its grip and vanished into the depths. The sea calmed, leaving the wrecked Sea Serpent and its traumatized crew. They had survived, but the cost was immense. Many lives were lost, and the ship was barely seaworthy. Hawke, humbled and broken, vowed never to seek forbidden treasures again. The surviving crew members shared his sentiment, forever haunted by the sight of the Kraken's eye and the sheer power of the beast. They returned to port, their spirits shattered. The tale of the Leviathan and the Kraken became a cautionary legend among sailors and treasure hunters. Hawke's greed had nearly doomed them all, and the memory of the Kraken's wrath would linger in their minds. The deep ocean held horrors beyond comprehension, and some secrets were best left buried in the abyss.